My friends, hello and welcome to GoldenEye SpeedLore, the series where we explore the remarkable world and stories of GoldenEye speedrunners over the last 2 decades, as seen through the lens of the world record progression on one single stage of the game. And tonight, we are looking at Train 00 Agent. One of the most challenging levels in the game and one of the most broken, with really GoldenEye's final true game-breaking strategy being discovered on this stage, and some other strange moments and mysteries lying within. So with that, let's take a look at the objectives on Train 00 Agent. And as we can see here, we have 5 objectives. Of course, on 00 Agent, many of the levels have 5 objectives, and 2 or 3 of them are kind of tied into one. So Objective A, destroy the brake units. There are, I think 6. I think it's 6. It might be 1 or, give or take 1. We'll find out in a minute. B, Objective B, rescue Natalia. This actually involves getting to the end of the level without Natalia passing away, as we'll find out. Then C is locate Yanis's secret base. That is, Natalia has to hack at a computer at the end of the mission, and same with D, crack Boris's password. Both of them require Natalia to hack. So they're kind of really in the same objective. And then E is escape to safety. That is simply actually leaving the train, not getting to the end. Getting to the end is more objective B. So objective E is leaving the train. Cool. We're going to watch the initial run of the Madman Fletcher, of course. And this run is actually misses the cheat time. It was his first run submitted. It actually misses the cheat time, but it's going to show you. I really did want to watch this run because it shows you how difficult Train is 00 Agent when you're first playing the game. I remember myself playing the game for the first time in the early 2000s. This was one of the hardest cheats to get in the whole game. The target time is 5:25. You get a silver PP7 is all you get, which isn't really that great of a weapon. It's okay. The benefit of the silver PP7 is that it fires through walls and boxes, so you can like line up a shot on Train to get like 1000% accuracy. But like, it's really not that useful of a weapon, because even on a situation like Cavern's Secret Agent, Cavern's 00 Agent, you can't even shoot through the doors unless they're like already partway open and the room is loaded on the other side. Otherwise, you're like shooting through into a room that isn't loaded at all, so there's nothing to shoot into. So yeah, it's really fascinating. The silver PP7 is not that great, but it's a cheat, and if you want to beat the game 100%, you want to get all the cheats. So as you can see, Madman Fletcher is very carefully, excruciatingly going through these boxes, hoping to not get hit by guards. The guards, all dressed in black, have body armor, and actually a lot of the guards not dressed in black have body armor as well. Not all of them, but I think some of them do. Either way, they take a lot of hits. Every guard in this level takes a lot of hits to pass away. They have, anytime the guard has like a big weapon by their chest, you can shoot like 5-6 times and you might not eliminate them because the bullets might hit their chest. It might be a real troublesome moment for you. It happens all the time on this, and Frigate is a similar, and of course Jungle. These are levels where oftentimes you shoot like 4, 5, 6, 7 times into their chest and they'll still be alive. Well, yeah, I mean, it's very, very difficult. This is a very hard level to beat. It's really, really challenging. Very nice. There's the third of the brakes. The fourth one's right here. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of guards. He's getting hit. And, I mean, the restroom strats are legit. If you played this trying to beat it, oh my god, he's taking a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage, you know, that's the old saying. And, obviously, he does survive this run. You know, you can discern that from me showing it early on in the lore. See, guards come around. I mean, he's so low health. This is terrible. How is he gonna survive? Wow. Unbelievable. Oh my god, he almost, see, that guard had body armor, so like the first shot didn't affect him. He almost got hit there again. Very, very scary. Now he's got this double ZMG is really nice. Now the guards in the green rooms are random, and this is consequential in speedrunning. Like, sometimes that room will have 4 guards in it, sometimes it'll have none, and the next room will have 4. 2 guards do come out of these bathrooms here. A guard often does come behind. If there's 1 in here, there might be 1 or 2 or even 3 in this room. Okay, so there was none. But there is 1 in that locked room there. So he's going to turn around carefully. This guy's come along. Oh my god! And, like, they're so because the AI is so, like, sketchy, they're so unpredictable. Now he's going to break the final break here. Objective A will complete. This initiates the 2 guards to run out of the final room. 1 of them has a key, and so that's useful. Get rid of them. Now he has to go shoot Ormov. And remember, there's 2 hacking objectives Natalia must complete here. So in order for her to complete both, you have to not only hit Ormov, but also hit Xenia. Otherwise, and you will see something happen here. So, Objective D is going to complete at around 20 seconds left in the timer. If he did not successfully hit Xenia there, Objective D would complete at 5 seconds left in the timer. And 5 seconds isn't enough for you to leave the train and Natalia to follow you out safely. She will almost always pass away in the flames when that happens. So you really need to shoot Xenia to get the extra time to be able to have Natalia complete both objectives C and D, as we will find out very, very soon here. So luckily he has eliminated everyone on the train. No one is coming to get him. There's an objective C complete around 44 seconds, and I think 29 or so, the next one will come up. It might be 20. Let's see. So 29. Time to crack the password. And then 19. There it is. Now we can leave. And there's Objective E, leave the train. The only objective we haven't seen come up yet is Objective B, which is which is rescue Natalia, and that is basically get here to the end of the train without her passing away. So now Objective B completes in the fade out, and now we've beaten Train 00 Agent. Very, very nicely done by Madman Fletcher there in 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Barely missed the cheat time. And yeah, so you might think, oh, if he didn't shoot Xenia and the objective completed at 5 seconds instead, would have that been faster? And the answer is no, because shooting Xenia doesn't affect the timer as seen down here. It delays that timer from starting. So if he didn't shoot Xenia, it would have started about 15 seconds earlier than it did now. And I want to actually see something interesting, because let's take a look here. At the time when he shoots Ormov, it's about 4:16 on the YouTube timer. And the last objective completes at about 5:31. So it is about 1 minute 15 seconds from when you shoot Ormov until the objective is complete. So in a way, you could argue that 1 minute 15 seconds is like dead time on the level. So it's like once you've shot Ormov, like the mission's in a way over. You still have to do stuff successfully, but like you can't speed up that timer. You shoot Ormov, 1 minute 15 seconds has to pass. The objective is complete. Then you leave the train, run to the end. That takes about 13 seconds. So there's 1 minute 28 seconds that's always going to be accounted for. And then, yeah, you just gotta save time earlier in the level. Now, obviously, this wasn't really like a great speed run. Of course, you didn't even have to cheat. It was a great demonstration, and we appreciate that from our pal Madman Fletcher. Check out his Pass the Runway podcast and his Beginner's Guide to Speedrunning GoldenEye, which I'll link in the description. But to get a better idea of how like a beginner might speedrun the stage, I found this run by Ghost Bus from earlier in the year. It's a 247. So let's take a look at Ghost's Bus run. And what he's going to do is he's going to carefully take out the first few guards, and then he's going to laser the rest of them. Yes, you have to shoot Ormov and Xenia. Otherwise, Natalia doesn't have enough time to escape. That's exactly it. And we will see Ghost Bus do the same thing here on this run. Okay, so now he's gonna go for it. He's just gonna go for it. He gets really badly stuck on a guard there. He breaking through the boxes is a good shortcut there. That will be used throughout the future. But look at this. He's down to 2 bars of health. It's unbelievable. I mean, this really shows you just how difficult of a level this is. I mean, he's in the second car of 6 cars, and he's already down to 2 bars of health. Almost got hit there. That guard could have hit him. Okay. Oh my god, good getting some cover there. Yeah, no, someone was in chat, I never thought to use the laser as a kid. I mean, you don't. You think, oh, it's for the locks. I'm not going to use it to shoot guards. But obviously it works. I mean, he barely gets... Oh my god, that was chaotic. Completely chaotic. Hitting Natalia, but also getting a shot in on Xenia, which is good. Now he's got to do the locks. And of course, again, he has 1 minute and 15 seconds to do the locks in this case. Because that's how long it takes for Natalia to complete the hacking objectives. You know, that's a lot of time. That's like dead time on this mission. You know, you wonder if there were to ever be a strategy development on the stage, it would hopefully be to speed that up, right? At 1 minute 15, that's a long time to wait. Or to, you know... Now he's kind of riskily shooting these guards. He could have just let them stay there. They didn't really know he was there. So he could have just, like, let them linger. But alas, he didn't, and that's fine. He survived. Okay, and... Here we go. Whoa! Oh my god, that was terrible! See, that's why it's better to not mess around with that. And there are 3 guards behind him who could easily shoot him right now and pass him away. And he's very lucky that it didn't happen. Very nice run from Ghost Bus, getting 247. New cheat available. He unlocked the silver PP7 sheet. Very, very epic. Okay, so I'm going to show the... Actually, yeah, I'm not going to show it yet. But the first video of a world record that we have on this stage, believe it or not, we only have 1 video of a world record dating back to, like, up until 2003. Only 1 world record video was ever made. And it was this 2 minute and 19 second run by Tim Grenby, which we will watch now. Swedish player. I believe I went over Tim's story most in the Train Agent SpeedLore episode way back in 2017. And Tim Grenby, Swedish player, a lot of his times were unproven, but he did prove some of his more remarkable times, like this Train 00 record here. And, you know, back then it was like a lot of it was, okay, you have a few videos, people have seen you play, are you legit? And that was all there was to it. So he did have a couple unclaimed, really good world records, but this one is absolutely a proven record on this stage. So yeah, let's take a look. And again, now he's shot Ormov, so he has a minute 15 seconds to take the locks off, even though he's struggling hard there. He must be really nervous. And of course, it's worth pointing out that he is a PAL player. PAL is the European system, a console. Their electricity runs in 50 hertz, or their CRT televisions do at least, whereas in North America they're at 60. This means that the game interprets 50 frames per second on PAL and 60 in NTSC, and the game only runs in half that, like displays the frames in half that. So, oh my god, is he gonna get, is he gonna, hardly, oh my god, is he, did he run out of lasers? Oh my god, that was insanely clutch. And so, that was nuts. That was insane. So yeah, PAL train displays 25 frames per second at best. NTSC 30 frames per second. PAL is advantage because you have to figure that they have to have a rate of fire of the laser. And the laser does fire faster on PAL. 219. World record 219 by Tim Grenby. Unbelievable, great time. Historic record. And we can see that's what a speedrun of Train 00 looks like. He runs the first cart, right? He runs the whole way through. I would say you would live less than 10% of runs doing this. That's kind of the standard on Train. I would say less than 10%. So very, very difficult speedrun. Takes a lot out of you to play this level. So yeah, it's a very difficult stage. And oh yes, the PAL laser. So obviously, since the games run at different frame rates, there is a different rate of fire for the laser. I believe on PAL, if you're just holding laser, you fire every other frame fires a laser. So it's like every other frame means 12 and a half fires per second, 12 fires per second. On NTSC, I believe it's 1 in every 3 frames, so it's like 10 laser shots per second. So your laser actually fires faster on PAL, which is like a big, big difference. But yeah, someone can correct me if that's not the exact rate of fire of the laser. But like, it is of truth that the laser fires faster on PAL. And so that is part of the reason that the level is advantage on PAL. Another part is just that on leggy levels, and Train is among the leggiest, because there's so many guards crammed into a closed area, that PAL handles that leg a little bit better. And to me, it's always been because like it has less frames already, so it can drop fewer frames. So the frame rate is like less degraded on PAL than it would be on NTSC. So it's important to know that basically almost every single run you'll see tonight will be PAL. There are a few exceptions. And I feel like now we actually, with these 3 runs watched, we kind of have the understanding of what makes a Train 00 run a Train 00 run. And we'll learn a lot more throughout the night. So, the date that Grenby got this 219 is kind of like unknown, like no one really knows. He posted it in this GoldenEye Extreme website's guest book, which was a predecessor to the Elite. These were posts made on the internet in the year 2000, literally the year 2000. I know for a fact many people were not alive, who are watching this when these posts were made on the internet. It's kind of insane to me to think about that, but it's true. Some people are naming their posts a little bit silly things, like this guy called his post fart. But this one, Tim Grenby, says, Stephen Jortes, presumably, finally got my tape with some of my times. This is great. Now I proved my skills. I guess some of you would like to see 219 on Train. Tim. So there we go. Tim claiming that he got 219 as early as September 23rd, which is when he's credited with, or June 23rd rather, which is when he's credited with the record. But it seems as though he got it a little bit earlier, because he's saying that Steven has the tape. So he probably got it even a few weeks or months before then. And it wasn't added to the rankings until November 4, a few months later, in fact. So, yeah, very interesting. And this, a true date of Grenby's Train 219 is a question that we may never know the answer to. Could go on the next elite iceberg, we'll say. But in the year 2000, we see Wouter. This is Wouter. He's posting that like he has a Train 219 on a tape. It wasn't, that video was never made, unbelievably. Now here's another Wouter post. He says every single level proved. Every single level proved. And on it we can see Train down here. He's claiming a Train Double Agent 218. So he had a video of it, but the video doesn't exist anymore, which is very interesting. This one he's claiming a 217 on Train, which is really amazing as well. Well, he has exactly 9,000 posts now. That's kind of cool. And the 217 was never made. I'll show you the original Train records right here. We can see, very interestingly, that there were no videos of any. Grenby eventually claimed a 213, if you look at the bottom there, on August 3rd, 2001. And there was no, this was Grenby's most controversial time. He claimed a 213. It was a 4-second untie at the time. Again, Wouter's 217s never made it to video, but they were, like, they never, video file, but they were apparently recorded and lost. But then Grenby claims a 4-second untied with no video. And so, looking back in history through the modern lens, this has become one of the most questioned times that is recorded into the permanent history of the community. I believe he probably got it, but like, it's hard to know for sure. And 213 is actually a pretty good time, although Tim obviously had quite a lot of skill. So yeah, it's in the history books. I believe it, but it's one of those times that we'll never know for sure. So now the next run, it would take a year and a half for Wouter to finally match or beat Grenby's 213. And this is the run that would do it. And of course, we need to get into our run dedications for the night. This one is a remarkably historic run, and this one is dedicated to a brand new SpeedLore champion. I hope I get this right. Practice a little bit. Sul Orak. This means GoldenEye in Gaelic, apparently. Sul Orak. So this run's for you, Sul Orak. Thank you for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. This is the run of Wouter Jansen from January 2003. Let's see what he gets. Switches to laser. Bangs out the brake. There we go, lasers the next brake. Oh, he actually had to go back for it. That was pretty clutch. But, like, again, we can see, obviously, this is not perfectly optimized. He had to go back for the laser shot. But again, I mean, it's such a complicated, difficult level to survive that even merely... We're at the stage in history where merely surviving the run in a fast manner is a huge deal. And so he actually runs right in there, shoots Ormov, and he knows he has 1:15 seconds to deal with these guards and do the locks. So that's why he didn't care to, like, take out those guards first. He figured, I'm going to run in, I'm going to shoot Ormov as fast as I can, and I'll deal with it later, because I have 1:15 seconds of dead time to deal with it. And so that's a very intelligent strategy, and it might be something that becomes a common theme of Train. Something that maybe gets revisited, something, I don't know, we'll see. It's very interesting. I know personally I don't really do that on this level. I'll talk more about my experience on Train later on. I have a few of my runs to show. But someone asked, I mean, it is known that this is like my least favorite level. This level makes me so angry to play. It stresses me out. It's terrible. And so we'll get into that a little bit later as well. But you can see the guards kind of know that Bond is now in this end of the train. They're kind of running towards here. Looking at them in this spot prevents them from warping through that grate, which is closed. Now they'll warp through, though. They will warp through right now. And so they could come and attack him, which is dangerous. But there we go. She completes the objective. He jumps out, and bingo, bango, bongo. He is on his merry, merry way. There we go. Beautiful run. Train 00211. Wow. A 2-second Untied world record over the claimed 213 of Tim Grenby, and proven this was probably a 6 or 7 second Untied at the time. I want to say someone might have had 215 famously back then. I didn't really look on the Wayback Machine, so you know, I'm gonna give a Wayback Machine a quick look while we. But I mean, this was an insane record, and this is a hugely important record because, as you can see, like, this was, again, the time, 2003, right? It's a big deal. This was the time that actually is on the Speed Demos archive page. Train 00211 by Wouter from 03. So it hadn't been improved. You know, I think these times were put here in like 05, so it hadn't been improved in that entire time. For 2 or so years. So that's like pretty amazing, you know. And on top of that, Wouter, on the strength of this run in March 03, you know, this run was done in January, but by February of that year, he would have achieved an Untied sweep. We can see train 108, 144, 211. So that's pretty amazing, is all there is to say. Yeah, okay, here's a very early screenshot of the train rankings. This is March 03. We can see that Wouter has 211, Mathice is 215, Randy 216, Boss and Garrett 217. So I feel like that Mathice 215 actually had a video, but that would have been the next best proven score on the stage. So Wouter had a 4-second proven Untied with that 211. It's an absolutely historic run. That's the only way to put it. Yeah, I do see Mathice has a video of his 215, so there, that settles that that mystery. Pretty amazing, really amazing run by Wouter, that 211, and very historic and famous run on the stage. Incredible, simply incredible. Now, this would remain Untied for over a year. Again, PAL is advantaged on train, so it would take a very, very long time until Boss would manage to find a way, despite his NTSC disadvantage, to get matching the time. And we can see actually in the first room, he does something different. He zips under that box. I don't believe Wouter did that. I think Wouter went around there, and he zips under this box as well. So like that's probably like a helpful difference that helped Boss get this time. There we go. Nice, very nice. Hits the brake. You know, it definitely did zombie. I was there at the tail end, and it's so strange in a way because everyone who interacted on the internet at that time, you didn't know you were a part of history, you know, but it's becoming that way now, and so much of it is lost. Okay, their Boss just ran right in, again ignoring the guards. That seems to be the best strategy, and then you have a minute 15 to deal with this. And I might start skipping this section on some runs later on. Like the next one I might start skipping. Not always, but sometimes. Because it is a minute 15 of dead time, you know? But we'll see how Boss manages it. I wonder if he'll go back out and look at these other guards. Prevent them from warp. I mean, I personally think this is the best technique. stand right here. They can't really shoot you, and just get your double ZMGs or your laser, and just wait for them to come in or not. I think that's the best technique. But back then, you were still uncertain, you would get nervous, you would do silly things. That's very interesting, old edition. Yeah, I mean, and Wouter would begin playing on NTSC certainly into 04 and 05. And we've touched on a couple of his NTSC records: Depot, Secret 00, Streets Agent 113, Legendary. Oh, see, Boss is going to build speed and time leaving, and now he's at full speed, and that obviously helps immensely as well. Oh, and he got a boost. That is actually huge. I'm surprised this is only going to be what we'll see is a tied 211. I'm surprised it's only a 211 because, like, building speed at the end plus the boost is actually, like, really, really insane stuff. So, that's really interesting. But very important and legendary run for Boss there. And would that be the time that... okay, not quite. So this one was done on May 13th. 1 or 2 days earlier. 2 days earlier, he tied Wouter's time on Secret Agent to end the Untied sweep. But Wouter had the Untied sweep for 466 days, so over a year. Very impressive. But Boss would come in there and tie Secret 00, ending the Untied sweep. No, it is a very good question, Zombie, about how much history is lost. And I mean, we can kind of see, right, from the early world record screenshot. I mean, look at all these claimed world records, which probably happened, but there are no videos, right? No video, no video, no video. So, like, a lot of the early history had been lost. And what's interesting is this is one of the levels where more of the more modern history has been lost than usual. And we'll find that out fairly soon. Alright, a full year and a half later, it would be Dan Cervone returning, and he would actually tie Train 00211 as well. And, well, he missed the first lock again. This was a point in Cervone's life. He grinded a lot in high school, I believe. He got up to 3rd place, got some really good world records, and then once he got into college and university, he would only really play like around Christmas time and in summer when he kind of had some free time. And so this was like one of his Christmas time world records, December 05. More famous of his Christmas time records would be the Statue 00219s in 2006, Christmas 06. So, yeah, pretty insane. Yeah, Cervone's room tour is a legendary. I don't know if I'll, you know, there's some folks who, you know what, there's a fine line, right? It's like Cervone obviously has gone on to move on with his life, we'll say, and so do I need to bring up his old college room tour 17 years later and put it out to, you know, 10,000 people on the SpeedLore channel? Probably not. So we can let that one live only within the community members who really, really get into it, you know? It's one of those things that I never really considered, like, as I started making these videos. You never kind of knew who you would reach, how many people you'd reach, that kind of stuff. But it is something I do consider now, so. Sul O'Rock, I hate to be the terrible bearer of bad news, but you were actually the first dedication run of the night, and alas, you've missed the dedication run. It was indeed the 211 of Wouter Jansen, legendary record. But hey, you can be around to see these other runs, and you know, when all's said and done, you'll go back and watch it, and it'll be epic. So Cervone's also building speed on the ending, and runs to the end. I mean, what are the odds, Sul O'Rock, that you would be the first of, you know, 10 or so dedication runs tonight, and it's the one you would miss? It's kind of insane, but that's just the luck of the draw, I suppose. So there we go. December 2005, Chervone gets his train to 11. Really nice run. And, ooh, we're not going to quite move things along yet, are we? Let's, you know what, let's see. Are we going to move... There's one of two runs I could show next. I'm kind of like thinking, like, which one should I show? Alright, yeah, I'm going to show... I got to show this one next. Chronologically, this was the next one. This was the next one. So, I actually made an entire main channel video about this. This is one of the most mysterious, one of the wackiest runs in the history of GoldenEye 007 speedrunning. This is, some will know if I mention it, the 213 of Bix, Brandon Sanford. Something very strange happens on this run. And not only that, the run was actually lost on VHS tapes that have been sent to Mouserscribe for a period of 8 years. 8 years. Before they were finally refound and captured. Maybe some will understand a timely reference. 8 years is a similar length of time as the Yellow Fleet was stuck in the Suez Canal in the 60s and 70s. That long, this run resided on a VHS tape in Mouserscribe's house and was uncaptured until 2014. It was finally captured. Not really paid much attention to it, then years later people would kind of pick up on what made it so strange. Obviously, one of the wackiest, strangest runs. This one's got to be dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Mr. Moxie. Of course, thank you for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Let's take a look at Bix's Train 00213. And Bix was an NTSC player, not only NTSC, but 1.1 control style as well, which is like pretty insane. And the fact that he was able to get 213, it's really... We'll talk about Bix more as the run goes on. But there's something really, really important to notice here. As he gets to the end... Okay. Oh my god, he could have easily... He had the potential to get 211, honestly. So he's going to bust in here, try to shoot Ormov. He misses, he shoots Natalia, and then he misses shooting Xenia! Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So now, since he didn't shoot Xenia, the timer is going to start 15 seconds earlier, and so he will have to exit the train with 5 seconds left. And this usually is not enough time for Natalia to escape. Natalia, if you were to go and play this right now, and you failed to shoot Xenia, Natalia would almost definitely not escape. And so, this is how I was able to make it an entire video explaining this run, like, what happened? How did Natalia survive? It's truly unbelievable. And so he's coming out here, check on these guards, he's gonna come back here. It's kind of risky too, because you need to make sure you have the key that one of the guard drops, otherwise you can get locked out. It can be hard to find the key in time. And now he's building speed, he's going, okay, 5 seconds, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Blow. There's almost no way Natalia could have... Oh, but you can kind of okay. It completes. Train 00213. 2 seconds off the world record. And again, Bix, if you look at his times page, it's so insane because he was NTSC, he was 1.1, and he never used cruise control either. Which is like when you hold the stick down and press RL start to reset the neutral position, so it can go at full speed more of the time, basically. You don't have to worry about not being all the way up when you're strafing. He had some really bad times, like Archives 58s, damn Secret Agent 122. Like, he had some really, really not good times. But because he grinded so hard and got decent times on all the stages, he was able to get into the top 10. But he had some like glaring errors on his page. With that being said, like this 213 could have been 211. Like that mishap at this lock area, like if he didn't lose like 2 or 3 seconds here, like this run could have been 211. And then we never really understood how Natalia survived. I kind of speculated that maybe because he hit her foot there, that she backed up, and her angle was better to leave the train in the short amount of time she had left. But we can see at some point, he does look towards Natalia, and he sees that she's like, you can visually see her having warped back into position. So the backup didn't matter. That wasn't it. And it really is kind of a mystery. Like, however, you can hear, I just know this for the first time ever, you can hear the guards hitting like a meat shield. I presume it's Natalia's body the guards are hitting, and the AI doesn't like recognize them as shooting her. Only Ormov can shoot her on this level, and so she's not taking damage, but it sounds like she has escaped and she's following you to the end of the level. Could you hear that? Right there. The kind of sound of guards shooting meat. And such an insane run. You can watch my main channel video for more on this, an even deeper dive on this run in particular. But such an insane... And, I mean, we'll see if the fail to hit Xenia completion will ever happen again on this stage. We'll see if it happens. So something to keep in mind as we move on through the rest of the night's SpeedLore. And that is indeed what we will do with this next run. So about a month later, it's January 06, a young Henrik Norgren is playing GoldenEye, a Swedish player. He would later become very well known for, well, a couple things. The title of this episode, as we'll see, and also for being kind of the biggest tool-assisted speedrunner of this game. He's one of the most knowledgeable guys, really good at tassing and finding new strategies, which is something that'll definitely come up later. And so this run is significant because it's his first appearance on this level, where he's the namesake of this SpeedLore episode. So it's certainly a historical run worth mentioning and worth dedicating to our SpeedLore champion, 4-Day Bender. A huge thanks, 4-Day Bender, for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Let's watch Henrik's first engagement in a world record form on Train 00 Agent. Really nice. Like, we can see he's kind of has it down. He's looking down more, cutting through the guards well. He's really, his lasering of the brakes is really good. A tiny bit of a hang up there. We tried to laser that guard, but it hit his hat only. I mean, really good run. I mean, this looks... Oh, there's a bit of a hang up. Oh, and oh, I see. I was like, this run looks way better than the other 211s we've seen. But, like, he honestly lost 3 or 4 seconds at the end, I would say. I really would say. With modern eyes, I could see 3 or 4 seconds there. So. Oh, there we go. Taking out these guards, hanging out. He did get in there to hit Xenia, but like he kind of shot that last break, backed up, ran through, got stuck again on the 2 blackguards leaving. Then like took a second or 2 at Ormov. Like, I would say definitely he lost like 3 or 4 seconds. I think, yeah, 4 has got to be at least reasonable. So. It's like you wonder about this run, about this individual. Like, speedrunning is really such an insane series of, like, butterfly effects, you know? It's like if one person did something differently, the entire history of speedrunning could be completely different, you know? There we go. Exit. That was a really well-timed exit. The way in which Ormov passes away affects the exact time of the timer. If you shoot him with, like, a limb shot and then a second later a body shot, it can, like, affect his death, and then affects how fast the timer appears. We might get into that a little bit later, but it was important for him to know that that was, like, the right... To time it exactly right can be complicated by these things. So there's a 2:11, a tied world record by Henrik. So now 4 people have 2:11, and we could see, like, Henrik has the skill for lower. He definitely has the skill for lower, and let's see if he can do it. Let's see if he can do it. And, well, of course, he definitely can. About a week later, on January 27th, 2006, he got this speed run. This is one that unfortunately has been, you know, what can you say? The music was put in back in the day, and then it was re-uploaded to YouTube with the YouTube copyright-free version in, like, 2009. But now all those songs have become copyrighted, so it's, like, really, really silly and strange. So we'll have to mute it, unfortunately, but we can watch and see a really, really nice run playing out here. Opens these 2 doors. Really lasered quickly through that guard. So he's getting a bit trolled there, a little bit stuck, nowhere near as bad. So he does the backing up thing again, and then he's going to try to run in and shoot, but again he gets hung up severely. So this run again could have been much, much lower. It could have been, again, 2 or 3 seconds lower. But in this case, we're going to skip the minute 15. I guess we'll watch him take off the lasers and I'll skip it. But yeah, he's, you know, again, a minute 15 before Natalia gets the objective D completed. And he's got the lasers off. Okay, let's skip ahead. Now he's going to exit the level. Everyone likes to go out and wait there, which is kind of interesting. He's going to time it. He basically turns at 20 seconds. He leaves at like 19.3, 19.4. Really good timing. Runs out of the stage. And bingo bango. It is, oh, a nice boost there. It's really hard to believe that this is a 210. Train 00210. It feels like it could have been way lower. It really feels like it could have been like 208, 207. And it feels like he was certainly capable of that. Whether or not he would get that as is, I suppose we will find out. This was actually Henrik's second career Untied. He had got an Aztec 00 Untied a year beforehand in early 05, a legendary Aztec 00155. That's a good episode if you want to watch. That would have been the first Aztec episode, so that's pretty cool. So, late January 06, Henrik gets this 210, a new Untied world record. And so to enter February 06, the rankings look like this. I mean, and I'm sure as we're now on episode 39 of GoldenEye SpeedLore, a lot of these times and names and letters will start to look familiar, right? We know these stories. We know how these levels evolved. Train looks like this. We have Carl with a 106. He had recently returned to GoldenEye and got the 106. Similar to Cervoni, he would play around the holidays when he would kind of be social with his friends and play. Boss had recently got a 142 with an interesting strategy. And when we actually look at this at the very end, when we explore kind of forgotten techniques that might lead to some faster runs. Very interesting run. So keep that in mind, the 142. And Henrik's 210. So we're now entering February 06, which is a very historic month for GoldenEye and very historic run, a month for Train in particular. So we see the difference between Secret and 00 Agent is about 28 seconds. Henrik would post this on February 8th, 2006. Train secret agent 136, 134, 133, 131, and train 00204. This seems stunning. He's found a way to save 11 seconds on train and 6 seconds on 00, 11 on secret. People thought he was joking. People thought he was trolling. And this post in the world record topic was actually originally deleted because it was seen as a troll. He was not trolling. He posted then a thread revealing the new strategy. The idea, as we can see, is that if you are able to exit the train fast enough, the game isn't checking to see if you've exited. Usually when you exit, Natalia follows you out. But if you exit fast enough, Natalia doesn't notice this. And as a result, you can wait at the very end of the train, leave as soon as she completes objective D on 00 agent. It would be C on secret agent. And therefore, you're saving 13 seconds, which it would usually take for you to run from the end of the train, like leaving the train to the end of the level. So this legitimately saves a full 13 seconds. Probably the most game-breaking strategy. It's the last great game-breaking strategy in GoldenEye 007. It's the most recent strategy to be discovered that saves 10 or more seconds on at least 2 difficulties of a stage. Absolutely immense. It's kind of hard to believe that there hasn't been a strategy that insane since 06, but it's absolutely true. It's really, man, that's such a hard thing to believe. Like, the closest would be like the Caverns mine throw strat, but that's like 2013, 2014, and that's saved like 8 or 9 seconds. So it's not even close in scale. This clearly saves 13 seconds on 2 difficulties a train. It doesn't save on agent because you don't have to wait for her to complete an objective. So, like, still, that's immense. Now, this train 00204 that Henrik claims, he never ended up making the video. Why? Because it, the strat saves 13 seconds, but it's only a 6-second time save. He was going for lower. He wanted lower, and unfortunately, he didn't get it yet. Ilu would beat him to lower. So this is the first untitled record using this new strategy on 00 agent. Ilu with 201. Let's take a look. And what's really amazing about this is that if this happened today, like, let's say the strategy wasn't discovered till today, the gold rush on the stage would be so insane, people would be losing their minds. But because it happened in 06, and it's already a very difficult level to survive, Ilu and Henrik were like the only ones who got world records on Train 00, and even on Secret Agent, because, for one, the level's PAL advantage, so a lot of NTSC players were like scared of that. We can see Ilu's not doing the run in to shoot Ormov strat at all. He's just taking his time. But now the flip side is you must do these very fast. And if guards come in and troll you, well, the run's toast. But Ilu does it roughly. That's about as slow as they can be done and still complete. He gets out, and now he has to wait at the end of the train for Natalia to complete the objectives. Now the flip side is you no longer have to shoot Xenia. Remember? The reason you would shoot Xenia would be to extend the timer. You could still shoot Xenia, but there's no point, because you'll see how the level ends. We know, based on Bix's 213, that if you don't shoot Xenia, she will complete her objective D with about 5 seconds left on the clock. And so all you have to do is wait at the very end of the train and leave and time it so that there's 5 seconds left on the clock, and you'll complete the objective, and Natalia won't pass away. Right? Because the mission, is, like I explained at the beginning, Objective B is simply get to the end of the level and Natalia is still alive. That's really Objective B. And so there it is. You didn't see Objective D come up. It completed in the fade. There's a full second there in the fade. And there we go. Ilu with a train 00201. 9-second improvement over the last run we saw. No cowbait. So firing the guns there doesn't affect. It does really lag out the game. If you watch like the timer on screen, you'll see it's moving like. See how the right decimal is staying the same? This means like we're moving at roughly 10 frames per second, as opposed to 25 or 30. But as many frames are dropped, like the game accounts for that in its internal timer. It knows it's dropping that many frames, and so it adjusts the timer accordingly. Where it does become a problem, and why lookdown works, and why like reducing lag in general works, is because you can like, it's way more difficult to play a game with a low frame rate. You might miss a door press or a shot or a pickup, right? You might miss an action, a button press. But at the end, when you're just spraying shots here, it's like no big deal. It doesn't really affect anything. So, yeah, on PAL it's 25 frames per second. On NTSC 30, but it does. You'll almost never have that. It'll be always a little bit lower, a little bit of frame loss. So that's Ilu's 201, Untied. And this is actually where the record would settle for a little bit, because people were more focused on train Secret Agent in this time. People were really kind of, jostling back and forth. But it was really only Ilu and Henrik, because people were like afraid to play 00. The NTSCers probably could have got world records still, but they were afraid. And again, it was like me, I was really bad at train, as we'll find out in a minute. Chervoni wasn't playing because he was back in school. Boss was still around, and in fact, Boss is the next run we're going to see here. So there wasn't too many NTSCers out and about to try to lower this record, and those who were around would have been a bit fearful. So, but hey, Boss was one who stared fear in the eye and said, "No, I will attempt this new strategy." And Boss went out there, March 1106. And I mean, this is a remarkable run, because it's the first ever well, we'll see. Let's just take a look. A historic run by Boss here. We're going to dedicate this to a SpeedLore champion, Madry Bread. Thank you, Madry, for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Very remarkable. Let's take a look at Bosses, what Boss could muster in March 2006. Hard to believe. Actually, come to think of it, in March 06, I was actually on a school-sanctioned trip in Europe. That's where I was. That's why I wasn't playing train. At least part of the reason. So it's kind of just brought back some funny memories, I'll say. We can see Boss's movement through here is pretty good. Opening these doors, getting boosted. Oh, that was really clutch to take out that guard. Even though it's like kind of technically slower, like it's still a good... And you can see he's kind of waiting outside now instead of busting right in. It kind of makes you wonder who is going to be the one to bust right in there and take out Ormov. But the problem is, think about it. You only have a very short amount of time to do these locks now. Any slower than like this, and Natalia will follow you out, which means she won't be able to do the hacking objectives because she'll be outside the train. So it actually makes it kind of difficult because, oh man, there's a hit too. Now Boss is going to survive for a minute out here without passing away from these 3 guards. But it makes the locks more difficult because if you were to run in and shoot Ormov right away, you would then not only have a very small window of time to do the locks, but also do the locks and take out those 2 guards if you were to ignore them like the earlier runs did. So it actually makes it a challenge to do that kind of ignore the guards and bust in there and take an Ormov technique. So here we go. Cracking the password. Boss leaves. Let's see his fade out. His fade out is 5.4, pretty good. Lose was like 4.9. So boss saved half a second there. 159. That is a great run. The first ever sub 2 on train, which is like really, really, really remarkable. Right? That's unbelievably remarkable. Historic run. Sub 2. I'll let you in a secret. I still don't have sub 2 on this level. My time is still well above, yeah, so. Unbelievable by boss. I wonder how many people have got sub 2 today, 15 years later. Let's take a look here. Okay, so it's actually about 40 people. But hey, I mean, people are really good at the game now, so yeah, that's, I guess that makes a big difference. Now, the next run would actually take this lower than you might expect. You know, we've seen, okay, Henrik got 204, Elude 201, Boss 159. What's next? Well, it's actually quite a bit lower. This is again Henrik, and remember we've determined that this strategy saves about 13 seconds. And remember he had 210 as the Untied before this new strategy was found. So saving 13 seconds would be 157. He's playing this a lot more like his old runs. That was really nice. That was like about as good as you're gonna hope for on Double O Agent. One of the guards was kind of close to the door. He was able to take him out easily. He took out Ormov and then easily took out the other guard there. And he's still gonna barely make these locks. Barely make them. You want to exit before that good luck with the floor, James, fades out. If you exit even towards the tail end of that message being up, Natalia will follow you out and you'll fail the mission. So he barely made that, you know, not quite barely. He probably had like a half second to spare, but it was tight. It was tight. And again, you won't see objective D completed because it'll complete in the fade here. Oh, 4.7. That was like a very high ending, or very low rat. Like it cost him some time, but still 156. Very nice run by Henrik there. Untied. I mean, that's a 3-second untied at this point. Anyway, I was kind of nitpicking over a couple frames there at the end, so not a big deal. This 156 would be very significant for Henrik because it would give him the Untied sweep. He would have got 105 Agent, 129 Secret, and 159 00. So again, 129 Secret cuts off 13 seconds from the previous. Remember, we saw this. So there's 13 seconds cut off a Secret, and there's 14 off a 00. So you actually made the 00 record better with the new strategy than it was before. So that's a big deal and a big achievement. You know, Henrik would eventually make the top 10 of GoldenEye, even maybe the top 5. Like, he was a good player, but he you know, he's certainly not in the same you know, legendary tier of god status as Ace and Clem and Mark and Boss, right? You know, it's probably a couple tiers down from there. And so to get an Untied sweep, not being in that god tier is a huge, huge deal. And he got it. And I mean, maybe he's in kind of a god tier on his own. You know, I'm sure if you've seen the fairly recent Train Secret Agent SpeedLore episode, and I mean, people know of his train Agent 56 is you know, so yeah, he's pretty damn good at the game for sure. He's become a train specialist for sure, but he's a very skilled player, and yeah, it kind of shows like when you dedicate yourself to one level, what can happen. You know, it's like I think that's kind of an honorable thing to do. It's like when you realize like, oh, you know what, I can't play 20 hours a day like these Zoomers. What am I going to do with my life in terms of speedrunning? Maybe I'll just focus on one really good level, my best level, and really optimize that, you know, because in a way the purpose of speedrunning is to like optimize every single level in the game, and if you're the best at a level, hone in on that, use your talents there, and let others do the work elsewhere where you're not as good. Speaking of not being as good, I'm going to show my own personal best from this time. I had no idea that this run existed. In 06, I would have been playing and sending my runs to Alex, Base Boost. I literally mailed him VHS tapes, which he would capture for me. I do not know, and I'll never know, how this run ended up on one of these VHS tapes. But it did. I would think I would have over-taped this run because it's not very good. But this shows you where I was on train at the time, and where kind of your middle-of-the-pack players would be on train at the time. Obviously, it's one of my runs. I love to dedicate my own runs to people. And so this one goes out to our SpeedLore champion, Dr. Slochter. A huge thanks for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon, Doc. Try to predict the time of this run. Really lucky, all the cards ducked in the first room. And then regardless, I've been hit 4 times already. See, this is why I despise Train 00. I've been hit 5 times already. I had a perfect first room, and I was hit 5 times. I absolutely despise Train 00. Unbelievable. Okay, here we go. I'm also using 1.1 control style and cruise control, which like doesn't help my cause. Okay, I'm waiting. See, like waiting for these guys is like really bad. Okay, I do a bit of the locks first to make sure that I can actually finish them all later. Then I shoot Ormov. This is a really good example. I shot Ormov in the limbs like 3 or 4 times. So, the internal timer of the game, I'm out, luckily. I had a lot of time, I could have actually shot less locks off. The internal time of the game, that timer comes up in relation to the first shot on Ormov, not when he passes away. So if you shoot him in the arm and then like wait 5 seconds, it'll delay this timer from coming up, or rather, this timer comes up at the same time every run, but it delays when Natalia starts her stuff. So you see, on other runs, that text came up at 39 seconds. On this run, it came out at 38. And so likewise, I expect the ending of this run to be at like 4 or 3 seconds. I paused there to check my health. Kind of confused. The strategy's brand new. This was actually only a few days after the strategy came out. Oh my god. Is it gonna be like a 3 ending? A 4.3 ending. And we get a Train 00 Agent 215. Unbelievable. Unbelievably, looking back, I would say it was horrible, even for February 06. This time would score you 3 points in the rankings today. It would have scored a lot more at the time, for whatever that's worth. But yeah, what a strange record. That's for damn sure a very strange record. Train 00, a personal record at that. I guess I sent it to Alex to make it because it was like one of the first runs of the new strat, and there hadn't been that many videos of the new strat being pulled off yet. And maybe because I did the locks before Ormov, I want to share my strategy with other new players who could have benefited from that. I mean, you have to imagine, right? The record was 210 before this. So 215 when I got in February 06 was probably still worth like 80 points, believe it or not, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, Henrik's Untied sweep would stand up for nearly a year. I have the thread of Untied sweeps open. Yeah, nearly a year. And then things would kind of come in droves, because February 07 was one of the most insane months in GoldenEye history. I personally set 3 Untied world records, the most I've ever gotten in a single month. Ace set 11 Untied world records, and we're about to watch many of those, because Ace would take advantage of this new train strategy. I mean, just to rub salt in the wound, before this, Boss would tie Train Agent 105 in early February, and then, well, Ace would go on to lower every single train world record, and getting an Untied sweep in the process. And we are now going to indulge for a moment in Ace's torrential destruction of Train in February 2007. So let's take a look, and let's start out with this Train 00156 on February 4th, 2007. So we can see he gets hung up there. I've already revealed it was a 156, so this kind of implies how good Ace is going to be on this level. There's a back boost. It's a year later. I believe Henrik hadn't been playing that much at this point in time. 07. He had recently... No, the 105 was the year before, yeah. So, I believe... I could be wrong about that, but... So Ace does that backing up into the corner technique that Henrik did. He waits here for these 2 guards, runs in. Now, when you run into Laser Ormov like that, it can actually be quite risky. Or as JD Black might say, controversial. Because, remember, the laser doesn't fire every single frame. On Pallet, it fires every other frame. On NTS, it's every, like, 3rd frame. And so, if it just so happens that you get too close to Ormov, there's, like, a range where you get too close to him before he'll shoot Natalia. If you pass that threshold of too close on the frame when your laser isn't shooting, then he'll shoot Natalia first. You'll fail the mission that way. And that is obviously happens more in NTSC because the laser doesn't shoot as many frames. So that's just another reason why I have such a disdain for Train Double Agent. It's one of those levels where, like, certainly back in the day, I was frustrated and despised it, and really almost like an insecurity. You hate it because you're bad at it, you know? But now I can stand back and accept my place in the world and understand that, you know what, I can enjoy the other people's runs, and like this beautiful 156 by Perfect Ace. So that's where we are now, and hey, that's why we've all come to SpeedLore, to enjoy these amazing, beautiful, outstanding runs by other players. Now, 4 days later, Ace would improve this 156 to both 155 and 154. Oh, and, well, let's take a look at another... I mean, look, he got some world records on February 9th. Let's see what this is. Unfortunately, I have to mute it because it has a Jimmy Eat World song in it, which I think shows, like, you know, cute Ace. There's kind of a meme in the community about cute Ace when he was a young... I mean, he would have been 11 at this point in time, and he would have been in the community for a year and a half at this point. 11, almost 12. You know, as you get older and more miserable, people can long for the days when you were a cute and innocent lad, you know? And so, in this case, it's funny because he used a Jimmy Eat World song. I have to imagine it was simply because Henrik had used a Jimmy Eat World song on one of his videos a year earlier in that Untied sweep. I remember it specifically. The middle. He used the middle on one of his... It might have been his 105 agent, actually. So, I mean, look at these locks. This is an 11-year-old, by the way. Like, what? Yep. So, Ace was basically copying his role models at the time, right? So it is kind of, and it's kind of hard to believe that, like, oh, Henrik's this guy who would have been like 18 at the time. He would have been this role model for Ace, at least in train speedrunning, you know? So it does remind you, it can be easy to forget, but it reminds you about how your actions and things you do online can impact others. Others might look up to you and want to copy you when they're young and impressionable, right? So it's an important thing to remind yourself. And in this case, it's just something funny, like using a Jimmy Eat World song when his train friend Henrik, his train role model Henrik also did. But yeah. And we can see, again, this February 9th, 07, Ace drops this 153. 153. On that day, he got 155, 154, and 153. He never made videos of the 154, 155 because, well, he got a 153, and he didn't need to. He didn't need to prove those times. And nor would he have known that, you know, 15 years later we'd be here doing a SpeedLore episode talking about his exploits on train at that time. Ace would go on to achieve an Untied sweep. We can see February 907, he has achieved the Untied sweep. He has improved Agent by 2 seconds, Secret by 2 seconds, and 00 by 3 seconds. And he wasn't done there. Which is like really, really insane to think. Wow, what a world, eh? 153.00 would be equivalent to about 206 old Strat. So that's like a big deal, right? Considering we knew of the 210 beforehand. Was the old record. But hey, only a week later, 1 week later, after, oh, he actually lowered Secret Agent to 126 as well. Oh, and he would lower Agent to 101 later that month as well. So yeah, that's the kind of month Ace was having, by the way. And I think that was actually his first month of GoldenEye Untieds. Oh no, he had actually gotten a couple in 2006. That's right. But, yeah. Insanity. Ace would get this run, a remarkable and historic run, capping off probably the most insane month in GoldenEye history when Ace got 11. Was it 11 Untieds? Yep, 11 Untieds. Capping that off, this insane run dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Languid Tide. A huge thanks for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon, Languid. Much appreciated. And let's watch another amazing speedrun. So he's really busting through these boxes and, like, how do you put it out? When you watch runs in SpeedLore, it's like there's a heavy survivor's bias of, like, the best runs. And even so, on Train 00, it's so chaotic, and the guards are so insane at shooting you, that most of the runs we watched tonight did have a lot of, like, getting back boosted, getting stuck. This run, the first few cars didn't have any of that. So this is, like, that's the sign of a really good run. He did skip one guard on his way to Ormov, that helps immensely, and now he needs really, really fast locks in order to, you know, make it happen. Missed one lock, he got it. He's out. That was pretty close. I think like half a second slower and he would have failed. I wish I had a run. I don't really have a run that has any failed getting on the train. Because, like, people don't make vids of those runs, right? Where you fail getting... Actually... You know what? I think I can dig one up to give you an example. Yeah, we're gonna dig one up in a minute here. There we go. Bingo bango. 152. I mean, that's starting to get insane. Like, remember when we watched Henrik's 210 and we thought, okay, maybe 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds would come off of that. So that's like 207, 207, 206, minus 13, 154, 153. So 152 is now like even better than we could even like visualize back then, and with the new strategy, which makes it harder to complete any run, you know. So that's a big deal, and yeah, just shows you how insane the guy was at that time. Just an absolute god gamer. Okay, so this is a locks fail run, so I'll show you exactly what happens. Yeah, we'll start it here. Okay, so this is a secret agent time, but it doesn't matter. If you don't do the locks fast enough, and we see on this run we've missed a couple locks. This is a modern Henrik run. See how the message faded out sooner than like the others, and now Natalia says, "I'm coming, James." So she's left the train, and this means that she can't complete her hacking objectives. And like, really, he was out before the good luck James faded away, but only about a couple frames out before. And so it shows you how tight the other runs are barely making out in time, you know? They do look fast, but I only cut to it well after the Ormov shot, so there was some time wasted before the locks, and that's why this failed. The point to focus on is like, when does this message fade after he leaves? And it fades quite quickly after he's out. And so that's like, you were just a little bit too slow. No luck for you. So that's what happens if your locks are a little bit too slow. And again, not only locks, that time begins once you've shot Ormov to getting out of the train. You have like a set amount of time. I mean, we can actually kind of see here on Ace's run, because it was about as slow as you could do it. So there's 43 on the YouTube timer. Like, he'll only be like marginally faster than that Henrik fail. And he's out. So it's like you have like 18, 19 seconds to get out from when you shoot Ormov to getting out. Okay, so train would actually go dormant for a little while. Believe it or not, Perfect Ace would retain that Untied sweep all throughout 2007, all throughout 2008, all throughout 2010, or 9 rather, and then in 2010, Clemens would actually, yeah, okay, oh yeah, I see what happened. In 2010, well, actually, a heavy rivalry between Ace and Clemens was picking up, really, is what happened. So Ace wanted to, I mean, they're really battling back and forth for Untieds through the year. It's really insane. Ace wants to step it up and get another Untied world record. And he thinks to himself, where can I possibly do it? And well, Ace looks again to his favorite level, Train 00 Agent. And so in July 2010, Ace would come up with this out of nowhere, really. I asked him about it, and he's just like, you know what? 152 wasn't that insane. It was overdue for an improvement. I'm going to go for it. And so he did. And this run is dedicated to our newest SpeedLore champion, believe it or not, FC Bojangles. A huge thanks for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon, FC Bojangles. Let's enjoy this remarkable run by Perfect Ace. Zips right onto that first box, gets a back boost, another back boost, but zips through there. This is probably going to be insane. I'm assuming this is just going to be the most insane run we've ever seen now. Really nicely dealt with. It can be hard when there are guards right beside the break to like not get flustered. But it's Ace, so of course he's not going to get too flustered. Nice. Runs in. Really good, really good. He ran right in there. He took out the second guard later, which is good. Okay. Oh, this is actually really tight. Dude, he barely, well, he might have made it by like a third of a second. But it was, he almost missed. He almost missed. Even here, like, you can pass away here. I've passed away here many times on many runs, and it's very, very annoying and upsetting. It really bothers me greatly. So you'd have like different waiting area. Nah, it's 2. So it's like once you pass this threshold here, the level will fade out after a couple seconds. There's no like you have to run a certain distance. You just have to cross a line and wait. Bingo. Ace got the 1:51. Insane new Untied world record. Remarkable speed run. And this would, again, he had the Untied sweep, but this would improve lowering that Untied sweep even more. Oh yeah, JD Black in chat says he once passed away less than half a second before the fade out. It can absolutely happen. Absolutely happen. Like, you can literally pass away now. You can get shot right there. There's no doubt that actually happens regularly. I would say more often than not. That might only be a slight exaggeration based on my dislike of the stage. So, Ace gets 151. Only 10 days later, Clemens would get the legendary Train Agent 1 minute. 12 days later, actually. And this is a time that I described as putting Clemens into medical shock when he got it. And this would be the end of Ace's Untied sweep on Train. That Clemens matching actually Clemens beating Ace's 101 with 1 minute. That 101 alone had stood Untied for like over 3.5 years, about 3.5 years. So that was a really good time too. And but yeah, Clemens beat it, the medically shocking run, and that's it for Ace's Untied sweep, which lasted an insane amount of time, 1,262 days. So yeah, almost 3.5 years he had an Untied sweep, which is insane. So Clemens would get in there, but then actually some other player would come along, another legend of the PAL console. Yes, so that Clemens Agent 1 minute was on NTSC, and I was actually going to say, Clemens has never had the world record on Train 00 or Train Secret Agent. For sure 00, and I believe Secret Agent. And so that kind of shows you, for one, the difference in advantage of PAL and NTSC on Train, now that it's like really fleshed out. And for two, it shows you how insane that 1 minute world record was. Yeah, Train, Secret, and 00, one of the only records in the entire game. There's only 5 stages Clem has not held a world record on in GoldenEye, and that's 2 of them. The other 2 are Statue Agent, Statue 00, and Runway 00. So pretty insane. But
But yeah, it shows you how insane that 1 minute was, and it shows you the PAL anti advantage. Like, Boss was able to get records on Train, Secret, and Double Agent. You know, it was a less optimized era, and he was so good. He was so much better than his peers at the time. But in the more modern era, Clem, the difference between Clem and Mark and Ace is not as great as, like, Boss and his peers, right? So, yeah, Clem, it was way more challenging to get a... I mean, still, like, nowadays, I don't think anyone recently has got a world record on NTSC on Train, so... The difference becomes more and more noticeable as times get more and more optimized. All that being said, who would be the next person to go on and get a world record on Train 00? Well, of course, the next person to be introduced into this story would indeed be the one and only Darth Vader Mark Rutsu. He posted a Train 151 Untied world record on November 2nd, 2010. This video has been lost. It was on his YouTube channel. No one archived it. He, you know, again, he's not the only one who's had strange moments, dark moments, kind of lost the plot for a little bit. He's not the only one, but in one of those moments, he deleted a bunch of his videos, and this Train 151 is lost forever. No one has it. No one knows... no one will ever see it again. It is a good question there, a Sula Rock, about is that the longest standing Untied world record, longest standing Untied sweep in GoldenEye history? It probably is. I can link this post, and you guys can go through it while I show the next couple runs and see if anyone was longer, but it almost has to be. I doubt that another one was... over 1,000 days in GoldenEye, at least. Possibly in Perfect Dark there's been longer, but in GoldenEye it's probably the longest Untied sweep ever. And let me know what you find as the lore progresses. But yeah, obviously, Mark, we're in 08, and we're in 2009, 2010. Mark is on the scene, and a great player, a PAL player. He is going to do some real damage. How much damage? Well, we're going to find out in this speedrun. On the date of... Well, this was actually January 2012, believe it or not. He had tied the 151 in 2010. And again, it was ranked and proven. It had a video for that whole year. It was much later until the video was deleted. But in January 2012... Mark would play Train 00 once again, and he would get this run, a classic Mark Rutsu speedrun. This one is going to be dedicated to another brand new SpeedLore champion, Philip P. A huge thanks, Philip P., for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Let's check out this insane Mark Rutsu run. Wait, I think he has a song from Pulp Fiction in this. We'll let it play out. We'll edit it out in the YouTube version. You know, there's kind of a cliche about guys who would have, like, say, the Pulp Fiction poster on their wall in their apartment or dorm. You know, maybe now the Joker poster. And Mark is certainly one of those characters, of course. I mean, look how fast this run is, and just breaking it just looks so... Every action he does in this run looks so much more intentful than anything else we've seen tonight. I'm only comparing them in the audience who enjoys these Sweaty Yeti. Certainly not in quality or impact. Don't worry. I mean, like, I don't even know what to say about this run other than it just looked so strong. I'm like, intentful is the only word I can find. Every break, every guard push, like, it looks as though Mark is like physically pushing through. I love it. I like, again, when this is the only video footage existing of a record, it's flickery, you can't exactly see everything that's going on. I don't like that. But in hindsight, in the context of history, I love the old CRT flickering screen. And just, yeah, it just looks like he's just powering through these guards and brakes, and it's like he's swimming like a shark through the train. If that makes sense, you know? Unbelievable run by Mark Rutsu. And with that, I mean, he would really announce he is now on the scene for a number of reasons. Because, you know, at the end of 2010, he actually took out his, the train. He actually beat Clemens' train. 1 minute, he would get 59. And in 2011, he actually got a train Secret Agent 124 Untied. It is Rutsu Vision at its finest. It's so classic. And yeah, I mean, he would announce that with this 150, he was in the game, cementing himself as a legend of GoldenEye, because with this 150, he would actually complete the Untied sweep. Here we are in January 2012. He's already got some insane damn records the year before, but now he has an Untied sweep to his name. Train 58, 124, 150. And that really shows how good... Yeah, it's so true, Mew and Fair. I love it too. It's history. It's history, you know. As whatever people hundreds of years from the future will think of us, who knows? But yeah, it adds to the history, you know. So very epic. So Mark gets this in 2012, and this Untied sweep lasted, wow, it lasted over 2 years, 2.5 years. Do we want to see the run that would eventually end this Untied sweep? Of course we do. It was done in July 2014. July 2014, I'm trying to think, was kind of like such a... The community was really having a renaissance. And it began in late 2012, when people started streaming on Twitch again, through 2013 into 2014. By this point, we had a number of runs at the GDQ events, for example. A lot of, you know, new people joining, hanging out, and the old vets coming back. And this one's really going to illustrate that. Because Ace is playing, and we can see he's in a mumble voice chat with Isa, Carl, Woody, Stockson, a newer player at the time, Supriaton, again, a newer player, Troubleclef and Wotus, newer players, and Wouter. Wouter would never say anything in mobile chat, but he would hang out and listen, I guess. And through this video, we're going to see the 4 minutes of voice chat around this epic run by Ace in July 2014. I guess a lot of it was like he was just wanting to play in 2014 and see what he could come up with, you know? Why not? And he would come up with this. So let's give it a watch and a listen.
Are you playing, Daniel?
No, I just woke up. I gotta go. Well, that's
Uh,
So on train double O, sorry to interrupt. When do you run to the end?
What do you? Oh, when do you? Oh,
Is it 7? I forget.
It rated 8 seconds.
When it switches to 8, I think, from 9 to 8, right?
No. That's too early, I think. Right? Or wait. If you shoot Ormov, then you have to go later. That's right. But if you laser him, I don't know. Ask Ace.
Why would that matter if you shoot him or laser him? He dies.
Nah, man, that's what they said because I think they.
I just like absolutely checked a 156.
Oh, he's on a run.
I know, that's what he said.
Oh, is he streaming?
In before the 150.
150, yeah, you got it. Fuck.
In before the 150. Oh, damn it, I wasn't in before it. No, my god, ties it just like that. Disrespected Ace. Secret agent right now. Secret agent. Go. Let him fall. I want to see the drama. Let him fall.
Come on, Ace.
Oh,
Get
you're
up.
watching it on stream.
Get all of
Oh
it.
my god,
And then
Ray
order
Carl, 150, he got it already!
Nice.
Get the 149! 149! No, I don't know.
That's so sick, man.
Look at
25
the
minute
lull!
session.
The lull of guiltiness. The thing. This calls for a thing.
Oh man, that's insane. 2014, the year of like. The thing.
What, he gets a 124 and 150 in one day. Train who? Mark who? Go Ace, go!
Gotta get that 58, man.
After that, all of a sudden, damn 155 will become the best record in the game, right? If he f***ing ties the 123, all of a sudden, damn 155 is now the best. I'm just joking. Go for that shit, man. I'm just really excited for you. That's nuts.
It was nuts. Very cool record. Obviously, we had to see insight into Lockwood's outgoing personality. Isa was chatting there, Carl as well, and Wotus. Those were the guys chatting. Yeah, really insane good times in the community, and we might see a little bit more about that a little bit later on. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know, just looking back now, if only we knew how good we had it in 2014. It was a good time. It was a really good time, guys. Yeah, I wonder if we look back at 2014 similarly to, I almost feel like a Stand By Me or like a Sandlot, like a coming of age thing. Even though we were mostly like in our 20s, it was like a coming of age point at the internet. Like, the pre-internet kind of existed until about like 07 when the iPhone came out, and then a lot of like, you know, I call them normies, you know, people who weren't on the internet before then got onto the internet, and things really, really changed, right? But 2012, 13, 14 was like live streaming and like becoming a big personality was like a thing, right? For the first time, like no one knew what we were doing. And like obviously there were dangers and whatnot that like came from it, you know? But in that moment it was like really epic. You know, in that moment it was a good time. And things obviously have gone crazy on the internet in the past like 7 years. But it was a good time in 2014. And I'll show another one from 2014 actually a little bit later on. I'm saving it for a little bit later, but we had a good time. We had a blast. And like, it was just like, it's so like, back then you could get in like an insane fight with someone online. Like, it didn't matter, you know? Nowadays you look on Twitter and it's like, just, you know what? I'm not going to derail SpeedLore with some nonsense. We're here for a good time, and that's what we're going to reflect on, you know? So, it's a good time. It's a 2014. It's always a good time. And hey, Woody was kind of teasing Ace there to go for 149, was he? Yeah, it kind of was. And 2 weeks later, well, let's just listen to Ace tell it himself.
Alright, so after about 30 or 40 hours, I finally managed to get trained Double Agent 149. I'm pretty happy with this time because it was pretty difficult to get, obviously. I had about 12 150s and about 7 or 8 149 fails. Most of those fails I just couldn't take out the locks in time, and because of nerves or bad guard luck in general. So yeah, this was a pretty troll time. I think 148 is possible, but obviously it's gonna be like twice or thrice as hard as 123 on SA, and it's just gonna become an insane grind. This run was actually extremely clean to the locks, apart from the 2 back boosts I got in the second room, which were like no big deal, because honestly you get a back boost in the second room almost every run. I wasn't too nervous at this point for some reason, because I was kind of consistent with getting 149 runs. I remembered this run kind of well, and I knew it was borderline 149 pace, so the only thing that was in my mind was just clutching the ending and making sure I don't leave too early or too late so that it would become a flat 150. So looking at the time here, I realized that my Oromov kill wasn't optimal, so I couldn't go for a risky leave. I knew that something like 5.4x would be needed here, and I managed to get 5.31, I think. 5.33, yeah, that's not too bad. You can get like 5.7 to complete, but that's with an insane Oromov kill and it's kinda rare. So yeah, it's nice to see that 4 on that curvy 9. It just looks so insane on the end screen. I'm really happy I got this time. I was just shouting yes, yes when I saw this pop up on the end screen. So yeah, life is a struggle. And things are gonna be difficult, but just fight back and you'll become a champ. Stay true, my friends. Stay true.
It's just really funny because, like, I wasn't making, like, videos at the time, but I guess he would pick up on this kind of commentary from my stream at the time. I'd be saying things like that on stream. So that's nice. That's a great little homage. And one thing that's really important that Ace pointed out was like the Oromov kill. I'll say it 2 hours into this episode now. So yeah, it's like if you get an insane headshot, the timer initiates like internally as clean as possible. He didn't feel like this run was like that kill was that clean, so he wanted to play a bit more conservatively on the ending. I wonder if we watch like Mark's 151. Let's watch this. Is this Mark or is this or this is Ace 151? Yeah, from 2010. I want to see the shot here. This is going to be yeah, Ace 151. So let's see his Ormov shot. Yeah, that one wasn't that great either. So it's like basically the most like extreme version would be like if you were to limb shot Ormov like 5 times, it would delay the timer so much that like instead of leaving like Ace did on the 149 with, you know, 8 seconds left, you might have to leave with 3 seconds left or 2 seconds left, you know? So longer, drawn-out Oro shots make it so the run, you have to play the ending more and more safely. So that's a big thing to remember. The earlier you shoot Ormov, the that's when Natalia's hacking really begins. The moment you shoot Ormov. So that's a big thing to note and understand. Okay, so at this point, Ace has the 149, really great record. I'm just gonna look back and see like what the records were like to enter 2015. If only Ace made more of those commentary videos, you know, they were great. Yeah, so we can see here, entering 2015, we have like Rutsu's insane 58, Ace's 120, you know, Rutsu's insane 123, and Ace with 123 tied, and Ace going for, so it's kind of like a big battle back and forth. Like they both have 2 records, one Untied on Train. Who's gonna like prove themselves as the top Train player? But of course, Maka's striker, wanted to come back and prove himself. He was going to go for it. And that is exactly what he did. May 15, 2015, Mark Rutsu would reappear, and he would say, "It is time for me to play Train 00 Agent and tie this pesky 114 of Perfect Ace." This 149 of Perfect Ace. Oh, I see exactly what motivated Mark to do this. 2 days earlier, Mark had achieved Train 57 on Agent. So he was really trying to demonstrate his power on Train. And, hey, let's watch this insane run. 2 days after his 57 Agent. This run is amazing. We're going to dedicate to our SpeedLore champion, Sammy Limex. Absolute legend and champion, this guy. He dug up a lot of that early information about Tim Grenby in that early website post. So a co-researcher as well. So huge thanks to Sammy Limex for your support on Patreon. And let's enjoy this insane Dark Inkosi Train 00 Agent speedrun from May 2015. Believe it or not, I only have one more run to show in the world record sequence of Train 00 here. I mean, you could see there, Mark got kind of hung up on that guard. Unbelievably. You know, he easily could have, not got hung up. I mean, not that easily. And so you can see there, Mark played that last, look, he's only taken 3 shots. Dude, that was so clutch too. The fact he's only taking 3 hits here is like remote. I can't even say. He only took 3 shots the whole run, and then like the guard was like confusingly running towards Ormov, and like he still nails it. And now he's got to wait. Is there an insane Jimbo run, JD Black? If so, I mean, link it up. I don't have one toggled up. The next one I have is simply the next world record. Yeah, this run was just, the fact he only got hit 3 times is unbelievable. And that last break, sometimes you call them locks. You're so used to breaking locks in this game. The last break was so clutchly played. Like, we saw Henrik and then Mark do the back up into the corner when they break that break. This one, he just went for an agent style. He's out of ammo. But it's not even a danger for him because he has 5 bars of health. What does he care? He gets a 5.37 ending. Solid enough ending. Bingo, bango, babongo. And, yeah, oh, I see what you were getting at, JD. And we got a Train 00 149. Matching aces. Pfft, that's insane. Matching aces 149. So, yeah, if we take this screenshot, 58, 123, 149, and we go to, like, the beginning of 2016, what we'll see is really just Mark lowering Train 257, and the 14900 is now tied. So nothing too much more insane. But we are going to get to one last run, and then we're going to explore whether or not lower is possible and kind of show some more fun runs. But this last run of the world record progression is something that didn't happen till about 2.5 years later. It was again the return of Henrik Weister Nordgren. Obviously, incredibly good at train. We know that. He wanted to, like I said, right? He's kind of like deciding, like, oh, what should I do? Should I keep playing GoldenEye? Should I try to improve my bad times again? Should I, do this or that? And what it came down to was like, you know what? I'm just going to play the level I'm best at, train. And he would eventually try to push these records on Mark and Ace. It was actually a month before this, he actually tied. If I go to the end of if I go to the beginning of 2018, yep, we can see actually tied the 123. That 123 is super historic. It's one of the most historic records in the entire history of GoldenEye, right? I actually dived into the 123 a lot in a recent video about Mark's damn 00 154, because the 123 is the Mark's Dishes time. It stood, that time has stood since 2012, which is unbelievable, right? That Mark 123 is unbelievable. But Henrik tying it shows, like, hey, he's back in action. Henrik can play train still. And so the first Untied of 2018, Henrik was going for 149.00. We saw Mark get a little bit hung up on one guard. That was really fast breakthrough there. A little bit of a sidey back boost, not a big deal. He gets a little bit of a boost through there, which helps a lot. A little bit of a back boost there. Again, like Ace's commentary said, these back boosts are inevitable on train. Inevitable. So they're not something to, like, fuss about. Nice shot. Really smooth. Really great there. Let's see how he busts in. That was really well played. This run is indeed bonkers. This run is absolute bonkers. I bet it was. I bet it was, JD. It's so... wow. Like, you're wondering, okay, Mark's times are insane. Is Henrik going to try to match all of the times, get the 300 points? Surely he's not going for, like, an Untied sweep on train or something, but, like, could he be doing something... He's just trying to play at the best times he can, I suppose. And this run was super clean. There was not a flaw with it. There was not a single flaw with this run. And it was indeed a train 00 Agent 148. Skipped 149. Indeed, he says, "I am a legend" on the comment of this run. referencing, of course, he actually got 150 only 2 days before. This one was actually set on the 5th of January, not the 2nd. He got 150, and then he skipped to 148. Yeah, absolutely insane, unbelievable record. That's such a good record. Holy smokes. And then, as we can see right now, as the time went by, he would go on to tie and beat Mark's 57 on Agent. So this is literally today, the records are this. Henrik 56, this tied 123, and Henrik 148. Insane. I mean, that 148 actually, believe it or not, I think it's like a top 5 longest standing Untied, right? It is for sure. I did a SpeedLore bonus fireside video exactly talking about this not long ago. It's the 5th longest standing Untied in the game, which is really, really insane. Wow, the Petit Frigate Secret Agent has climbed up there in the top 10, which is insane in its own right, because the first SpeedLore episode we ever did was Frigate Secret Agent, and it was about a month before he got this time. But yeah, Henrik 148, amazing. And as we see, the train rankings, Henrik has the 300 points on train, and he has the 148.56. Is 122 out there for the Untied sweep? Is lower than 148 possible on train? These are questions which we will address in the next part of this GoldenEye SpeedLore. So now that we know kind of what's at stake on train, we're going to try to get to some kind of more fun, goofy stuff. We're going to watch some of Clemens's runs from Train 00 on 100% attempts. This is going to, I have like one run plus like 8 or 9 clips. This will show us just how insane it is for you to survive on Train 00 Agent. It's really, really insanely difficult to survive on Train 00 Agent. So let's watch and find out.
Atrocious.
You can imagine you're playing a full game run.
Yeah, I need 204 now, and that was not good. Just man.
You are 20 minutes into a run, and now you're faced with Train 00 Agent. We know how hard Train 00 Agent is. We've seen it all night long. Clem is using the strategy that Ghost Bus used, where you shoot the guards in the first room. He's down to 1 bar of health. He knows the run's over. He knows this run is absolutely over. Like, you get back boosted in this room every time. There it is. He has ghost health, which is only possible because he took a bar of damage from an explosion, which was like 0.999 damage. So he has literally 0 health left. Unironically, 0 health left. He's 20 minutes into a run. He's ahead of pace. He could world record. Shoots Ormov in the head. A guard can come into this room anytime and troll him. He needs amazing locks. He needs outstanding locks. He gets them. I mean, those locks were like... Those locks were like 3 or 4 seconds faster than like the worst possible locks. Like, those were so good.
What? Oh my god. How did I live that? How did I live that? I lost all my time, but it's totally fine.
No, it's so true, Floyd. Like, yeah, he's never had a world record on Train 00, but like, this shows how good he is at the game. Like, you could argue that how you perform in 100% and full game runs really demonstrates your skill more than single level speedruns, because
late split. I'm like even.
It shows how you respond on the fly, you know, and how you compensate for mistakes. It really shows your skill. Oh, I'm going to show how this run ended, right? It's kind of interesting. He clutched out this run. What happens on 100%? Let's find out.
Where am I? What? How did I get out there?
He got severely trolled there, and the run ended. Yeah, he got a really bad like boost that hit him by the crates, and he's in pain. I bet you watched it live, Mystic. Yeah, insane. So that's pretty funny and epic. I have a bunch of clips. This is called the this is the good one. This is called the infamous Trev Train Troll. Yeah, that's right. He played for months of this. And he came close to getting the 100% record. He eventually did get the... Okay, watch this. He eventually did get the double agent world record, RTA, but he never got the 100%. Because of stuff like this happening all the time on train.
Man!
This is called the Trev shot.
Are you serious? That is so fucking dumb, dude.
That was a separate instance. A completely separate instance.
Unbelievable.
It's kind of insane because in all of these speedruns I showed tonight, you don't actually see this happen. Oh.
Oh my god!
Someone clip that, please. Can someone clip that?
That was really funny. It was on Agent, so it's kind of less stressful, and he was kind of playing into it too. It was like you would move around this guard, but because it was so troll, he just like let it happen. Like you kind of move to the door and shit at a reverse angle, but like he let that happen. This one's called Headshot Fail. Okay, let's see what happens here.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so that's important too. That's what happens if you miss.
You're so fucking laggy.
If you miss shooting Ormov, he kills Natalia and the run fails. That can happen. This one is fascinating. Remember what happened in Bix's run, right? Very early in this lore. And I mentioned that maybe backing up Natalia affects her line leaving the train, which can affect her survival. It can improve, it like gives her a chance of surviving. We don't know this is 100% true, but just watch. On this run, Clemens missed Natalia. He missed shooting Xenia and extending the timer. Therefore, Natalia will pass away here.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. She's gonna die now.
He goes for the shot.
What? I did it. How the f did she live that, man?
She survived. Insane. I think what we've learned is, like, if she leaves the train and runs directly to the side of, like, the wall where the mountains are, she'll survive. She'll be far enough away to get affected by the explosion. But what causes her to do that or not is unknown. And the angle of her leaving the train could affect it, possibly. Your own path could affect it. Like, once I made that video talking about Bix's run, people started trying it a little bit, and other people experienced it as well. And it just seems kind of random. Like, really, it's basically comes down to it seeming like there's like a 3 to 5% chance that she'll survive, even if you miss Xenia. It might even be lower, but it's been seen a number of times since now. Okay, we got 4 more clips. This one's called Clutch Train Locks 100%. So that guard trolls him
Yes, it had to be a kneeling down.
severely. Nice headshot.
Yeah.
This one's called Yep, Dead Run. Ghost Health. I can't believe you didn't get a hit there. That's insane. Oh my god. Very lucky arrangement of guards in the green room. It's so random if Trev's gonna hit you or not, you know? It's so random. Okay. That was that clip. This is called How Did He Survive?
Me.
It'll be a similar experience where he'll probably be down to like 2 bars by the next room.
No. Oh.
Yep, 2.5,
Yeah, this
one,
is over.
1.5 bars. This is over. Oh my god. Yes, welcome indeed, Chipsicle, to this stream. You've come just at the right time for the last 15 or 20 minutes of SpeedLore. Wolt, very clutch to react to that guard crouching. Insanely nice headshot. How did he survive indeed? He survived until the very end. The remarkable Clem. And this one is actually very unremarkable. I'll let it speak for itself. The context is that people have been playing, in the past couple of years, it's been kind of invented a head-to-head match play. You and the person you're playing against play each level. You both play Dam. Whoever has the fastest time in a 1-try scenario wins that time. So we can see Irie and Clem both got 55. On Facility, Irie got 51, Clem got 54, so Irie won. They tie on Runway. Irie won on Surface 1. Clem won the next 4. And you do this back and forth. So, yeah, match play. So they're playing Train, and obviously, yeah, we'll let the run speak for itself here.
Of course. Got to be kidding me. Oh my god. It's the worst thing in my life. It's the worst. In 14 years of speedrunning GoldenEye, that is the worst train run of my entire life. Can somebody clip that?
It's hilarious. It's good to laugh at yourself, especially when it's something easy to laugh at like that, you know? Just, he's obviously a great GoldenEye legend, and he simply had a bad train run, which is hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, he almost, I guess it's very unlikely to run out of ammo on Train Agent of, like, bullets. You can run out of lasers for sure, so very funny. So those are all the Clemens clips I have. A great contribution to the episode for sure. He never would get that 100% world record. He came very close, but it's tough. It's very, very tough. Is it Ace or Mark who has the record? I want to say it's Mark. It is Ace. Ace has 53:39. Oh wow, Clemens never even submitted any of... Clemens has like a 3rd place time. He never submitted it to the ranks because he kept trying to beat it. So very epic. I'm going to show one more run, kind of main run, and then we're going to explore whether or not lower is possible. This run is, again, one of my own runs. It was one of the only times I've played PAL in my life. It was performed in the back rooms of AGDQ 2014. It was a good time. It's an interesting run. We had PAL set up there. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to play late night PAL sessions at that event. This, of course, my runs I love dedicating to others. This run is to our SpeedLore champion, dedicated to Riley P. Riley told me it's his last month of being a SpeedLore champion. We totally understand. Wishing you the best of luck, Riley P. A huge thanks for all your support over the past year. Amazing stuff. So big thanks, Riley. Let's watch this run. My personal best on the stage, the 40th place time as it stands today. The end screen is so bright that I had to...
What's up? You came to watch a Zelda speedrunner collect chickens. Oh, yes I did.
Oh,
where'd you go, Locke?
I missed that break.
Damn it, I feel so bad. I don't know. I can't remember everybody's name, bro. I've met so many fucking people.
I know, I feel ya.
I feel bad when I can't remember it off rip, you know? What is, the cool guy that was outside with us when we were smoking the dart earlier? He's from...
It's like something Trek something.
Oh, no, you speak French with him all the time?
Oh, Dicko.
He runs...
There was a CC turned off.
He runs Aladdin and DKC3.
Oh, Morks.
What's his name?
Morks. Shell got a PB dude.
Morks. We're playing. She's Canadian. Morks? Yeah. Okay, I thought his name started with... I didn't know how to say it at all, but I knew it started with...
Montreal.
I knew it was like more or something.
He's from Montreal.
Yeah, but he said he's Canadian. Ooh, PB?
Maybe.
I got hung up. I got hung up on...
Maybe, baby. Maybe, baby.
Oh, I got hit.
Live it, though.
Did on accident? No.
I didn't blur it, I just ran off. I thought I pressed the A, I just fucking ran off.
It's 00.
Like I said, it's been months, dude. It's been way too long since I played this game.
The PB run.
It's leggy out here, man. It's leggy out here.
We have the webcam.
I gotta leave, I think, at 9. I don't want to leave early.
I hope it's a PB run.
I think it's 9.
You have to wait all for the time.
Go! Please complete.
Oh, that was early.
Come on, be less than 2.
I bet you get
Yeah!
What do you get? What do you get? Fill me in. What do you get?
I got a PB.
Sorry. How black and white TV world record at AGDQ.
Train 00 world record for runs performed at AGDQ. That's great. New cheat available on the bad quality. That was like first try. That was like first try 00.
What was your PB before?
201.
Oh my god.
It was my only run below 80 points. Now I don't have any more points.
Yeah! What's it now? How many points?
That was cool, man. That was really cool. That's really funny. No runs. It was worth over 80 points at the time. Now it's worth like 59 or something. It's worth really not very many points. And yeah, this run, well, I mean, one piece of it is that it kind of makes me think, I wonder if I should play PAL. If I got 2 minutes that easily, I wonder if I should play PAL again. That's one thought going through my mind. But this run again touches on that mood from 2014, I would say. It was like, look, everyone was at that event getting along, you know, having a good time. And obviously I haven't been to any events in a long time, but I wonder if that'd be the case today. It feels like back in that 2014 area, it was almost like this liminal space we were just passing through. Everyone was new. Even though people had been speedrunning a long time before, it was like there was this moment for 1 or 2 years where everyone came together in this kind of new realm of speedrunning, where it's like everyone got along, you know? No one had any kind of preconceived notions or judgments of others. And it's like, I wonder if it's even possible to exist anymore, you know? It's like everyone there got along. There was no concern of anyone getting in fights or anything. And as time goes on, people, you know, whether there's cliques or whether there's people having, you know, hanging out in groups and saying, oh, we don't like this guy or these guys or whoever, let's not associate with them, let's not hang with them. You know, it just feels like things have just gotten worse over time, you know? And I think everyone agrees. And I think it just takes like everyone to kind of come to that understanding of like, we can go back. We can go back to the good and simple times. I really believe that can happen. We can go back to these times when everyone got along, you know? Yeah, it was peak speedrun novelty. It absolutely was. And so that's why I really want to show that run. That's what it means to me. So yeah, I hope someday we can get back to that point of, it was just this fresh area where like nobody knew each other, and so everyone assumed the best of each other rather than the worst, you know? Alas, here we are today, and we're going to show a couple more runs just to figure out whether or not lower is possible. So this legendary boss run, 142 Secret Agent, this was actually the last world record before the new strategy came out. Ace lowered this before Henrik had revealed the new strat in 06. Ace got a 141. I touch on that a lot in the Train Secret Agent episode. But like, watch what Boss does here. Remember how the internal timer for Natalia hacking starts as soon as you shoot Ormov. So Boss goes through here and shoots Ormov from way out here. Right? That's such a smart strategy. It's such a smart strategy, you know? So like and obviously with the old strat, you didn't have to do the locks that fast. You had a minute 15 to do them. On 00, you would have like 45 seconds zoom on Secret Agent because the objective, she has to hack less on Secret Agent. Well, like, you have more than enough time to comfortably do this. And so you gotta think this saves like 1 second, 1.5 seconds. Henrik would actually look into it. Okay? I believe Henrik has said that it does save 1.5 seconds. So let's watch Henrik do this. This is actually pretty recent. We've left off knowing that Henrik has 148.00, the current world record, and 123 secret. Look at that insane shot. Now the problem is, he has to have the most insane locks ever here to make it, right? Because it's like, you've now given up like 1.5, 2 seconds, and then plus you have to deal with those guards, right? And it's like, it's really tough to make that locks. Super difficult. But Henrik manages to do so on this run, which is a 123 duplication. So it's like a big deal, right? That's a very nice run. I think he has some fails of 122. In fact, I'm gonna try to find a 122 fail here, and it's like, yeah. So here's a 122 locks fail. So check this out. Let's just watch this run in whole. So the difference is that... Oh, he has okay, we can... Yeah, you know, I'm going to dig up that 121 fail, actually. Let's see. Right, that'll be even better. How long ago? Is it unlisted? Is the 121 fail unlisted? I remember someone tweeting about it. I remember the Elite Twitter account tweeted it. So we'll watch this 122 fail for now, just to give an example. And you'll see it's like, oh, that's right, his vids get banned. That's so true. It's so strange. So he just fires. You have to just go there and fire and hope the guard isn't in your way and hope it all works out. And like this very rarely works. And then you have to clutch these locks so insanely. Like this is insanity to clutch these locks. He's missed two, but he's flying by. And oh my god, oh my god. And he barely missed. Natalia came out. Yeah, and he's even had a and so you can see what he does here is he ends up waiting. Oh, Natalia was he must have shot her. Yeah, so he ends up waiting until the time that you would complete if Natalia stayed in, gets the fade out and sees what the time would have been. In this case, it would have been 122. And so remember, we were watching the fade outs on Double O Agent, and the correct time to leave for that last objective to complete would be like with 5 seconds left on the clock, 5.5. On Secret Agent, it's about 30.5. So the difference between Secret Agent and Double O Agent is about 25 seconds, almost exactly 25 seconds is the difference between the difference in time. It takes 25 more seconds for Natalia to complete objective D from C. So, if we look at the rankings once again, and we go over the fact that the record on Secret is 123, and Henrik has 148 on Double O, I mean, this really indicates to us that this is like where the records should be here in relation to one another, right? The fact that Double O is 25 seconds slower is like correct, right? It's correct. Now, of course, Henrik has failed 122 and even 121 on Secret Agent with that far Ormov shot, which makes it so much harder to complete the locks, right? I mean, this is a perfect example. He pulls off the shot so cleanly, it looks great, but then because, I mean, like, think about how much time now, right? Now he spends how many seconds taking out these guards and then going to the locks. And if we remember watching some of the earlier runs, it's like, I mean, they take out the 2 guards, then shoot out Ormov, and it's like there's so much more time to be spent on the locks. You know, like if I watch like Ilu's 201, for example, we'll just pull that back up. You know, let's take a look here. Yeah, this is one of the first runs with the new Strat. It might be. Yeah, so Ilu takes out the two guards, then shoots him, and now he's right at the locks. Like, Ilu has like 5 more seconds to take out the locks than Henrik does with that strat. And Henrik says it saves 1.5 seconds, so it's out there for the taking. It's completely out there for the taking to go and save 1.5 seconds, but it's so hard. You need to be a master of the locks. So, as it stands today, 123, 148, it would seem to be that 122 Secret Agent is definitely possible. And if that's true, then 147 Double O is also definitely possible, although it would be like even harder than 148 is now, and 148 is already one of the hardest records in the, I mean, it's one of the top 5 longest standing Untieds. So like that shows you how insane it is. So with all that being said, with Henrik needing 122 for the Untied sweep, is such a thing possible? Can Henrik do it again? You know, he achieved one Untied sweep back in 06 on the strength of the new strategy. It was amazing. He had almost a year. He really marked his name in the record books. Can he do it again? Well, my friends, on March 4th, 2021, Henrik Nordgren indeed, after many, many 123 duplications, went out there and got this speedrun. Truly remarkable and utterly stunning. Henrik indeed has achieved the untitled record, Train Secret Agent 122. And so this is what the rankings will look like once he gets to updating the time, now that it's just been revealed here at the end of SpeedLore. And so it comes full circle. The Train Strat Master, the guy who invented this insane train strategy back in the day, once again, he achieved an Untied sweep on the strength of that strat in 06, and now 15 years later, he's achieved the Untied sweep on the level once again. Truly amazing, and a big thanks to Henrik for choosing me and entrusting me to share that run here at the end of SpeedLore. Let's just watch it once again. It's a perfect run. You know, a tiny hang up there on a box, no big deal. Everything else is so smooth. You know, holding full speed on that brake, in fact. And when he showed me this run, I was like, holy smokes, this the Ormov shot is so sick. The way he backs up there is really, really good. It's like, seems like a very kind of good setup, a consistent feel to it. And then he has like 5 seconds less to do the locks than like you normally would. But the locks, like, without a doubt, he did it even a second faster than he had to. Yeah, like, the locks were not in doubt. He clutched that so hard. Could those be the greatest locks in the history of GoldenEye speedrunning? Like, maybe. You know, maybe. Unbelievable. It's so true. The 123 is such a historic record. It's the run with Mark's Dishes, the apartment tour. It was part of his Untied sweep, lowering his own sweep. It stood for 9 years. That was a 9-year-old record that you just saw get absolutely destroyed from the game with this unbelievable Train Secret Agent 122 by Henrik. Unbelievable, remarkable. You know, I'll link the vid in chat because, like, you guys will want to see the vid. I'll watch it once more as I pull up the stats on the 123 that's now been passed away, and then we're gonna wrap up here. The 123 was the 5th oldest record in all of GoldenEye. Only Runway SA-22 by Boss, Mark's Caverns 101, Mark's Dam SA-116, and Clemens' Surface 102. Those were the only older records than that Train 123. And Mark's Bunker 223 now becomes the 5th oldest record in the game. So, really, really insane. And that 123 is like at the entry of the Twitch era, October 2012. It's like the point of the entry of Twitch era. And but hey, tis now but a memory in the history book. I mean, obviously, like I said, the 25-second difference. So, like, does this mean 147? I guess that should be the final parting thought of this episode. Does this mean 147.00 is possible? Like, it absolutely does. But when you think about how much more difficult it makes the ending, and, like, again, it's such a hard level to survive, and you are going to get hit by these guards, usually at least once, if not twice. So 147's out there on the table. I bet only Henrik is going to be even think about maybe playing for it, and probably not. He'll probably let his Untied sit and chill there. So yeah, unbelievable stuff by our pal Henrik. Yeah, he definitely has auto aim off for that shot, 100%. I mean, that run is so epic. Unbelievably impressive. And so there, my friends, is the story of Train 00 Agent, and a little bit about Train's secret agent as well. A truly remarkable ongoing tale that currently stands as an untied sweep by the original Train Strat master, Henrik. A huge congrats to Henrik, and yeah, thanks a ton for entrusting me with that Untied reveal. It's become amazing how SpeedLore has evolved and taken these different shapes and forms over the years. And I suppose now people will be wondering, you know, in any remaining episode, oh, is there going to be another hoarded time, another reveal? And, you know, while that probably won't happen, at least the mystery is always going to be there now. So now that it's happened 3 times, that's the 3rd time we've unhoarded a record in a lore. So amazing, amazing stuff. A huge thanks to these SpeedLore legends for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. The series truly wouldn't be possible without your support, so thank you very, very much. And a big thanks to everyone else. Chatters, lurkers, viewers, the gamers, of course. We wouldn't have it without you guys either. All the other supporters on Patreon, random donors, everyone who has enjoyed any SpeedLore episode, the co-researchers, especially Joris, and Sammy Limex, of course, anyone who suggests epic clips and information, and just everyone who has made this journey possible. We will be back next month with another episode, so until then, stay true, my friends, and I'll see you in the next stream or video. Good night.